Welcome back to the question and answer session with Kale, Katarn, and Darionator on our 24-hour Captain's Table for charity, raising money for Gamers Outreach, which is a group that does nonprofit organization that does video games for children in hospitals. It is almost 16 hours into this 24-hour stream. I've been up for 18 hours, so bear with me if my brain is processing slow. And it'll get slower as we go through.
Just don't 30K, Paul.
I will do my best. But I have gone from SEAL Team 6 to Paul Blart Molcop. My internal NPCs are running that slow right now. My internal inventory system is glitching when I'm trying to move stuff over. That's what the answer is. Okay. So
I'm gonna go R_ display info 1 and check on your bandwidth in.
My B-win is close into 0. It's getting close there. All right, this is you make sure you're checking out Kale Katarn on Twitch and YouTube, and Darionator.com. Check out GRDF because they just stocked a bunch of new stuff and sold most of it out. So if you are interested in getting little miniature models of Star Citizen ships, including the 3 versions of the Freelancer, the Max, the regular, and the Dur, the 500 scale Cutlass Black, 500 scale 4 Cutlass, because it comes with 4-pack, I believe, or is it a 2-pack? It's a 4-pack.
Yeah. Oh, depending on which one it is. Yeah. The Arrow is a 4-pack. Yeah, 3 in flight, 1 landed. Those are the diorama sets. So those aren't really assembled, but the model kits are assembled.
Yes.
When Corsair.
When Corsair.
It's got to be out.
It's got to be out in the game. Yeah. And we got to have some sort of assurances that CIG is not going to change it, like they are going to change the 600i, for instance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes total sense.
So
we had the PTV, which has actually been sold out completely, all 500. We only make 500 of each, the big kits, and now they're talking about a redesign.
So you're going to completely change it up.
So those ones you just sold are going to be super valuable secondhand.
May as well be, yeah.
So let's move on to the questions. These are questions that have been asked by the chat, and I'm doing my best to answer all of them beforehand. We have 9, so it shouldn't be too bad. So the first question is from Monster Avi, who asks, do you think they will adjust the Origin ship sizing and number to fit another medium, small, or large ship in the lineup? Would you like to see them more than just do luxury transport and or touring?
I don't think they have to adjust it. You got 5, 7, 8, 5, 2, 5, 7, and 8. Yeah.
Still a 200i, which could put a 200.
Yeah. 200 could be. I don't think. So here is the thing. There's a bigger gap between the 300 and the 400 than there is between the 100 and 300.
Yes.
So so for that, I kind of actually get the question, because they would need to rename the 300 to 200 if they put something in between 300 and 400.
Like a medium.
Oh, that gave me a headache.
I don't think we're seeing a medium ship. I think we'd see a large ship, or a ship between the 400 and the 600 with the 500, and a ship between the 600 and the 800. And here's the thing. We know that in lore, the Origin did not start making luxury ships. They made engines. And when they first made their first ship, it was the 600. The 600 was the first ship they ever created, but it was just called the 600. And it was a cargo ship. It was not a luxury ship. It was just a plain old stripped down hauler. And the 600i is actually a rework of the original 600, which was made to be luxury. They kept much of the exterior and then increased the interior to be more luxurious. So, and we know they're redoing the interior of the 600i, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 600i cargo variant. So, and
I don't think you're going to see much competition in the Cutlass / E1 range, because that's the 400i already. Because with Origin, you are either doing something in style or you are being conveyed to somewhere in style. You're not. Like there's like that 2-man crew in the Drake and the Spirit range isn't really Origin's thing, at least to me.
Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from Blizzard, who asks, "What with the investigation mission brief, what features would you like to see from an advocacy-styled ship?" What? I don't know if that makes any sense. With the investigation missions brief, what features do you want from an advocacy-styled ship?
A holding cells in the back, and a scanner, specific scanner for people, not for minables or for cargo. And tractor beam would be nice. And like if for a weapons loadout, what's the word? Distortions. So you can do non-lethal distortion damage to incapacitate ships.
I'm sure it does disturbing things to ships, but what do you think, Kale? Considering with investigation missions in mind, what would you like to see with a advocacy-styled ship?
Honestly, a more functional version, like a UEE styled Razor Crest, like that's sort of where I'm at with it. Yeah,
like a medium Aegis ship or something like that.
Yeah,
like the Vanguard, but or the like the Avenger, but medium.
Yeah,
Spirit.
Like
yeah, like that, but like
distortions.
With distortions and a cargo, like a throwing at people in a bad guys in a hold kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe like sort of like the Prowler has those doors that open up and on the sides. Like you could have something like that, but with like pod, like the cryopods that where you throw all your bad guys and then they just detach super easy.
I wonder if oh my god, the A1 Spirit, the bomber one, but instead of the bomb bays, you have the cryopods.
So you can drop them.
you could just drop them into the advocacy food court or something. that'd be cool. Oh, you could bomb your enemies with frozen
your
corpses.
Other enemies,
frozen corpses.
Yeah. No, but actually, if the cryopods that we see on that Caterpillar mission, that you when you're freeing the prisoners, if those are modular, that they can be just installed in any ship that has a cargo grid, any ship will then be able to be sort of upgraded to an advocacy style thing.
Yeah, I can definitely see something like that. I don't really get the question. I kind of get it, but I've always said for years, I want to see a mobile police station, a large ship that has enough for like you could put like an Avenger on it. It has space for like a lockup, so you can have like a holding cell area. You have mess, and you have some workspaces, and that's it.
Police Kraken.
Yeah, but small.
Like no. Just take a Kraken, and instead of what people expect it to do, to be like a base of operations for the ne'er-do-wells, you just have a police station on it.
But you don't need that size. I mean, like something like the Liberator, but with like just one pad. Like you could like land a Vanguard or Avenger on top of it, but then you have like a little area underneath.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, or so something maybe the size of smaller than 890 jump, but bigger than a Hammerhead, like somewhere in between those, where the majority of it is just a hangar for the Avenger, but then you also have a holding cells, you have some places where you can sleep, and you have some places you can work, and any place you can transport. You can call it a prison transport ship because that's what it'd be. You just use it to transport prisoners, and you can use that for prisoner transport missions, and the CIG could use that ship for like NPC as an NPC ship for transporting prisoners, and you could also use it for getting out of prison. So like when you get out of prison at Kleischer, and they instead of just magically teleporting, you get into the ship and they put you in the holding cells, and you you freeze and they take you off to the location and then freeze and let you go.
I guess, but I'm still not really sold on that, because on the way to prison and on the way out of prison, a lot of people don't want to just be sitting there waiting. That sort of thing. As immersive as it would be, because you gotta spend some time in transit between the prison and wherever you're getting dropped off. That's from a gameplay point of view, that is not good.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the distance. Because I also can see that eventually CIG will just say, "There's a bus. You're a prisoner and you got released. There's a bus that comes in every so often. And good luck, kid." There's not going to be fast travel. There's going to be some slowdowns, especially if you're a prisoner. So I can see them doing that sort of thing. Now going to prison might be a little different because you have the option of basically surrendering and just being like, "Cool, I'm just going to go to prison," and then you just fade out and fade into prison, sort of thing. Yeah. All right, next question, which is from Logarithm, who asks, you previously mentioned how CIG were adding skills when they previously said they weren't. What skills are they referring to? So the skills that they're talked about isn't really a skill system. It's a progression system. It's an attributes progression system.
If you remember, stat, yeah.
Have you ever seen the joke Sneak 100 on the meme where it's like Sneak 100 when someone's going super sneaky or something that's obvious but there's still no one can see them and it goes Sneak 100 little updates. I don't know if that's Skyrim. I know it's Skyrim, but I think like you get that for being sneaky around other characters where when you're sneaking and they don't see you, it passively increases. That's what they're talking about. But you won't see a Sneak 100 pop up. It'll just mean that your footsteps aren't as audible in game because you're good at it.
Yeah, that's what. And if you're just doing a lot of melee takedowns, the animations are going to get smoother. You'll make less noise and faster, and less chance of you getting noticed or the enemy blocking you, stuff like that. Yeah.
You'll be able to like take higher Gs. Yeah, if you're a dedicated fighter pilot, you'll be able to take higher Gs. If you're if you're somebody who specializes in FPS combat, you might have a little bit less recoil or have to deal with less recoil, ADS faster, that type of stuff.
Yeah, and if you're bunny hopping everywhere like everybody, then you'll be able to sprint with the heavy armor on for just a tiny bit longer. It's not
You're really good at mantling.
It's not something that allows you to do something that you wouldn't normally would be able to do at all. It just slightly improves the speed and the skill at which you do those things.
Yeah, like one of the things they joked about, they've talked about line code because it was called skills and techniques. One of the things that Chris Roberts talked about years ago was the idea of Tavaran Kung Fu as an example. Not really actually going to be a thing, but necessarily the idea where instead of you doing your normal, when you do your melee actions, you may have unique attack animations that you go in through for, so it's a little bit harder for you to block because you have to like instead of punching, you're now like doing a different style of animation for the fighting. So it's going to be you're going to have to kind of react to it differently
or get winded a lot slower. But yeah.
Yeah, there'll be some things, and he talked about the idea of doing that where you have to like climb to a giant mountaintop in Kalith and talk to an old Tavaran kung fu master and learn from them and experience that sort of experiences that he made that as an example long ago. That's the kind of thing that they want you to do. That was more of a technique, which is much more of a kind of like an animation swap more than just the whole thing in a while. But yeah. All right, next question comes from Mad Hatter Mike 42, who asks, the game is more playable now than ever. However, a long ways to go. What is needed to get those waiting for the release to get them into the game before released? Will server meshing and a couple of systems or whatever gameplay time be enough? I think the first system will do a long way. Pyro will go a long way for getting people, but a lot of people are just waiting for gameplay. It's version 1 of everything. bounty hunting, trading. What do you think?
Engineering,
mining, salvage, and that one will be a long way to get more people in. Just have multiplayer, like the resource management. Yeah.
I've heard a few different people say that they're waiting for like one specific thing before they want to like either drop the money for a package, or they bought a package and just they stop in every 6 months to check out the new patch, and then go on about their life, set it back down, and go on back about their lives, because they're waiting for like one specific thing, whether it's exploration, mining, salvage, bounty hunting, translation, whatever. I think as more features come online, we will see more people who specifically want those features join up and join the game.
Yeah, like I know a while ago there were people who just wanted medical gameplay to be in because they just wanted to be support for big teams when they go on missions. So that's in now, so they got the chance to play.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's the case, and I think the first big hurdle is performance. Getting the game to perform better will, for most people's potato PCs, will improve it. So like Gen 12 is coming along the way. Will do a long way to fixing that. Vulkan will go even further. Then you have PES and server meshing, which should also improve performance of the servers and the game as a whole, and just general bug fixing. I think sometime between now and the end of next year, you'll see a lot more people kind of come on because they'll feel like this is an early access release and no longer just a game that's never going to come out. You'll still find the people who meme on it, who say it's never come out. But the fact of the matter is, 50,000 average concurrence is insane. That is nuts. And I keep emphasizing this, but that would be, if that was on Steam, if Star Citizen was having those numbers on Steam, it would be the 22nd most played game on Steam.
Which is nuts for a quote unquote tech demo early alpha.
And if we're looking at its peaks, would make it the 7th most played game on Steam.
Damn.
Just below Team Fortress 2.
And you get a lot of games that are not on Steam, though. You got Epic and you got stuff that,
but Steam
are exclusive to other. Yeah,
but Steam is one of those de facto benchmarks in terms of everyone has Steam and for PC gaming and plays it. But like 130,000 max concurrence is a lot. But to give you the context in terms of the thing that everyone has with Steam. Now, does that mean, like, I'm sure there are other games like Fortnite and that stuff, but that includes Apex Legends and a bunch of other free-to-play games which are on Steam that
not Overwatch too, because they still have issues with servers.
Yeah.
If Blizzard, how many people employed in Blizzard? How much revenue Blizzard makes? And they still have the same issues, or even worse issues than Star Citizen.
So it's a huge amount of people. So like the idea of like talking about when will people come back, and I think the answer is they're already starting to, and it's just going to that it's not going to be a sudden like wake up where someone's going to wake up and go, oh, like suddenly everyone wants to play Star Citizen. It's going to be a slow wave that's building. And we could start seeing that wave because Chris Roberts, in his letter to the chairman, letter from the chairman, and a bunch of other people were like, yeah, we're going to do a new player experience. And because they were seeing these numbers build, and they're like, yeah, we need to start focusing on new players experience because we're getting new players whether we like it or not. So,
and they hope they make a robust and modular system enough so when they do create new systems for FPS scanning and the new quantum drive, so they can just go in and just change that without breaking the entire thing, like with the old new player experience with Gilly.
Yeah.
Oof. But I do hope they bring Gilly back because Gilly was fun.
Yeah, Gilly. I love Grumpy Gilly. I want more Grumpy Gilly. All right, C-Daddy SCIG. Yes, Jaden? What's your most favorite ship and why is it the Redeemer? Because you gave me the Redeemer and it's called Paul's favorite ship. CIG giveaway. I'm staring at it right now. It has lifetime insurance, and I cannot melt it, upgrade it, or give it away. I'm stuck with it. Star Citizen could fail tomorrow, and I would still forever have this ship stuck in my account. I could sell everything, but this, I would no longer. And I bet you it's a freaking. Is it a game package? Let me look at this. No, it's not a game package. Thank God. If it was a game package, it would be like, nope, Paul can never leave the game. Like, God damn it.
You're gonna get another one that's a game package.
CIG did this specifically. C Daddy CIG, Jaden Cantrell, I'm sure he's not the only one involved. I'm sure there are many cohorts inside CIG who made this decision to say it was funny because, I know Jake has threatened it. Galactica and Xylo were threatening it. Like so many people have been threatening it to me, and they finally came through with it. So
yeah, I saw your screenshot on your channel, and I cackled. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Next called you bluff, Paul. They called you bluff.
Hey, I told them to put up a shut up. It took them a year, but they put up. So even CIG's jokes take a long time to come to fruition. All right, I gotta get what I can. All right. Blizzard asks, investigation missions have me quite interested. I'm curious, what do you think is an advocacy themed? Oh, I already talked about that. Shampasta asks, why do you think E1's loanership is a steal? And why do you think the spirits will get bigger or more expensive? And do you think that the spirits will get bigger or more expensive? No, they won't get any bigger. No ship has really grown in size beyond the 2016 mark. Every ship that's been made in concept post 2016 has stayed mostly the same. I think the Carrack was the last one that really changed dramatically. The Banner Merchantman, but that came out way earlier too.
The Carrack went from 123 meters in concept to 180 meters, and then they realized, oh shit, we made a pig, and then they shrunk it back down to 125 meters. So
it's even smaller.
It didn't get better. No, 2 meters longer, but chunkier. But yeah. Why the E1 has the steel? Because it has the seats inside.
Their cargo
of people.
There's no other ship that has something like that. The only one would be a Phoenix, and the Phoenix is far too expensive in comparison in size as well.
Yeah.
So, exactly. The Valkyrie also has people transport capabilities, but
it's not on par with the steel, because the Valkyrie is $300. Like the closest ship in terms of price is the cheapest drop ship, which is the Cutlass steel. So. And it's not even a luxury ship. The whole point of the E1 is not a luxury; it's transport. It's luxury is part of it, but it's a transport. It's its main.
Yeah, it's a private jet. It's first class transport for everybody that's taking a ride on it.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from your DJ AJ, who asks: with the release of the Spirit finally expanding the Cuddy to freelancer range of ships, do you think that the 400i/Connie range will eventually get the most popular on full release of Star Citizen? Do you think that? Oh, that or the 400i? I still think the Freelancer, Cutlass, and the Spirit range are going to be the most. That medium ships is going to be the most popular because it's medium ships that are soloable. You can fly them solo, and B, they're multi-crew optional. So they become ships that are, you can fly on your own, but if you want to take on other people, you become a better ship. And that's the key.
Technically, you can do that with a 400i, just a bit less, because
but you need two people for that. Whereas those other ones, you just need one. So.
I agree. I was kind of actually disappointed that the Spirit isn't the size of a 400i, because then I would have immediately gotten it. It's a bit too small for me right now.
Yeah,
I like my ship chunky.
I saw a picture that said the blockade runner we were promised, and it was a picture of the Spirit, and then the blockade runner that we got, and it was the MSR.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question. Oh, wait. Kale, your thoughts? Do you think this is going to be the medium? What do you think about the medium or the large ships will be more popular?
I think the medium. I think we're gonna have enough solo players. I think we're gonna have enough people that like log on once or twice a week and like just show up to do some stuff, and they don't like. I've been flying a Connie for a while. I've flown my Paul, cover your ears. I've flown my Redeemer a little bit. And it's just they're ungamely. Like it's too much. Get up out of the pilot seat, walk to the back, walk to the front, get in the pilot seat, and just there's so much that you have to do on those things. Whereas the Cuddy, the Freelancer, and now the Spirit, like it's just get up, walk out the ship, do your business outside, come back in, take it back off, and do your thing.
Yeah, looks like the Spirit is just like two doors, and then you're out. Whereas the 400i, it's one door, lift, another door, and either stairs or the airlock. Yeah.
Kavian, I don't think they called the A1 a luxury ship because the A1's the combat variant. I think you're thinking the A1.
Yeah.
And it's still luxury. It's just that's not its primary role of luxury. It's a people mover. It's a luxury people mover, but it's a people mover. It's a Learjet. And because like if you wanted a private yacht, they would have given you a Phoenix, which is way too expensive for that. It's it's not a private yacht. It's not a 600i. It's not an 890 jump. They're not on the same levels. It's more like a Genesis but mini. So people mover.
Yep. Yeah, and the AY is the bomber, C1's the cargo, E1's the people mover. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm guessing the Spirit is going to come out when the NPC transport missions come out.
Yeah, I think that's when they did it. So.
Yep. But if the Spirit is a indicator of the future of Crusader design, the Genesis is going to be so good. Oh shit! I said it again. Here comes Jared.
Yes, Jared, you mentioned it. You're here, and Jared something magically appears. To be fair, it's what? 4 a.m. your time? 5 a.m.
It's going to be 5 a.m. So it's 4 a.m. for him. Yeah. So he is long asleep.
Long asleep. He will not be roused until like 7 or 8 a.m. until he has to go back to work. And I don't even know if he'll go back to work because I'm sure he took some time off because he doesn't have to do any ISEs for this week. So it's it works. All right. Next question comes from 1T Cyber, who asks, what about a player auction house? Be interesting to add a market to Star Citizen that's run by players that will create a lot more trade routes.
I think they're going to spring up, like regardless, but I think they'll be more temporary. There's already people running gun stores out of the back of their C2s.
Yeah.
So I think I think it will be more ad hoc than we're used to, but I think it's going to be. I think for sure they're absolutely going to exist, but I think they're going to be not a central place like what we're used to in WoW or SWTOR or RuneScape or any of those.
But yeah, it's kind of reliant on server meshing just because it's going to make it a lot easier for you to be on the same server as the people selling it if you just go to the location instead of having to do the pedestrian way of adding them to your contact list and in hoping to be able to join their server if it's not full and stuff like that.
Yeah. Somebody said BMM. Like, there you go.
BMM would be the perfect location for that sort of thing. Definitely, yeah.
Just in general, I think that's how it'll work. I think someone's mentioned TDDs. I think the TDDs might be a case. The only issue is that the difference. Most auction houses you can just send stuff to people and it's fine. With Star Citizens, it's not going to be possible. You're going to have to go pick it up physically from the person. And that's why things are going to get a little bit funky.
Unless we get we can get hired NPCs for transporting stuff from one location to another.
Yeah, maybe, but that's a completely different game mechanic that's not in the game yet, nor has it been mentioned for a while. So
right.
So I'd love to see that, and it makes sense, but I don't think we're anywhere near that. We're probably 2 years away, and Quanta needs to be involved and all that sort of stuff. So, because there's going to have to be NPCs involved in that market too, buying and selling things, which would be complicated to add without the Quanta trade system. So, all right, we got a couple questions about JRDF models.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, Jedi Menace asks, how large can one of the models be made? Or how large can one of the models? How large can one of the models can be made?
We have a preset scale for the general kits. We have a preset scale. Anything larger, I'm gonna say anything the size of an MSR or larger is gonna be 1 to 500, and we don't have a smaller scale, a more miniaturized scale. So that is basically how it is. So a Carrack is 25 centimeters long from 125 meters. The 890 jump would be 40 centimeters long. Jesus Christ. Stuff like that. Yeah, but the smaller you go, the larger the scale that we have. So, for instance, the Cyclone is also kind of in the same physical range, but so you can't just put them one next to each other and expect a scale, because you also want a certain presence if you have them displayed. So that's why we went with that. Yeah, I guess that's the answer to that. But if you can afford it, I'm pretty sure JR will make you anything in any scale you want.
They do have
Dragonfly.
They do have a license from CIG to make these things. I think the only thing JR would have to do is ask CIG if they can make that.
Yeah, would need to make an updated license for that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
40 centimeter in American. What's that? What's 47 centimeters in American?
Oh, 7
I know
inches?
25 is
6
10 inches. No, 25 centimeters is 10 inches. Yeah.
Oh.
That is 15.7 inches, 40 centimeters.
Yeah. So, pretty big. Over a foot. That's like a foot and a half almost. So, yeah, almost a foot and a half. So, yeah. The site for the models is jrdf.sc. This is where you can go get them.
Mm-hmm.
And for
and
reference,
if you don't feel like spending money, you can go to the citizencon.com website, scroll down a bit, and you'll have a link to the CIG, not sponsored, but involved contest. We are sponsoring it, so So there's prizes like the Carrack with a couple of dioramas, then the Freelancer Max as for the second prize, and a Cyclone RC for the third prize.
So this is my phone for scale. This is a 200 scale Freelancer that I got from JRDF. It's not finished painting.
Freelancer purple.
Yes, the Freelancer purple.
The Bang Lancer, yeah.
So you can get the scale from this.
That is the 1 to 200, yeah.
Yeah, 1 to 200. It's not good. It's not even. I got to go through and get the shiny purple to be.
They are kits, so they come in parts that are still on spruce. So if you've ever put together like a
model airplane or
like a model airplane, yeah, you have to remove them from the spruce and then sand the bits down, and assemble them together.
So. Or Warhammer, they're all the same.
The mounting bases come with the kits.
They do. I'll show
yeah, they're made from clear plastic, but they somehow, I don't know how. Okay, for the 1 to 500 stuff, somehow they just happen to be exactly the same as the TIE Fighter tabletop game. I don't know how that happens.
Here's my 1 to 500. 1 to 500 Cutlass, so you can kind of see the base for that.
You hinting at a near future there, Darj?
We cannot talk about it. That's all I'm going to say.
Understood.
Yeah, get a pair of side cutters, flush cutters, that sort of stuff. Basic model making stuff.
CIG can't talk about things. Almost exactly the same way the CIG can't talk about things. All right.
Or Cutlass versus Scorpio.
Yeah, Cutlass Scorpius. All right. Let's move on to the next question, which is from Hammer of the Gods, who asks, are all of the JRDF Carracks already sold, or will you restock them?
As far as I know, we didn't print all of them. So if they say the kit is temporarily out of stock, we will make them. We will make more of them. The only one that we have sold out completely of is the PTV, and if you look at that, it has like a completely different presentation. All the images are glitched out, and it says this item has been completely sold out next to it. So it is a different way of saying that we've sold out completely.
All right. Nazareth asks, how great is the Pathfinders podcast? It's fantastic, Naz. Thank you for the plug.
5 out of 7.
5 out of 7, almost perfect.
And another question is, they are 3D printed. We use Formlabs resin 3D printers, proper SLA, not MSLA. And they're made from either modeling resin for the parts that require highest surface quality, or Tough 2000 for parts that are like high impact stuff, and that actually gets us very, very close to actual ABS plastic level of toughness.
Just don't drop them. I've dropped them before and they break. They do break.
They do. But we do have a very lenient spare parts policy, because we do know that stuff like this happens. So most of the parts are free, not including the shipping. Yeah. Well, thank you for these questions. If you have any more, just throw them at me. Even on just on Discord, if you have any questions, just at me. You can. I think I have my Discord info at darinator.com. So
can we ask questions unrelated to 3D model in CitizenCon? Yeah, you can. There's no reason why not to. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't actually just like a JRDF podcast. He allows these questions because I'm here.
Yeah, and JRDF is part of the whole CitizenCon celebration, so it makes sense.
Yeah, this is true.
Will they make more? Yeah, make more. Not the only one they're not going to make more of is the PTV. I think everything else.
Yeah, although they have just redesigned it, so who knows.
They probably will run out of Carrack models, and when they run out of Carrack models, they're done. But the Cutlass, the Arrow, and the Freelancer at the 500 scale will always be printed. They'll never run out of them.
Yeah, the miniature. On the website there is a specific. We have just the model kits, which is currently 9 of them that we have in print, and then separately we also have the dioramas, and those will always be printed because they are tiny, so we can just. Yeah, try them out. The JRDF Steve, we have been talking about it. Everybody loves the way that looks. So, may actually happen. Yeah. The thing is, JR wants to make everything in the game. That is his goal. He does want to make everything in the game. Just when that will happen, we don't know. We have limited production capacity.
It's him and Cowles, and I think a couple of like 1 or 2 other people who helps him at the site,
actually on site, but we have more people elsewhere on the world, but they don't actually control the printers.
There's you, and then there's I forgot who's in the US.
There's VMXCO is involved. Hasgahal helps with his screenshots and art. Westbrook Drew, James the Stormtrooper, Ventravar. So we have fingers everywhere. Yeah. And a lot of very talented people helping out.
They come talk to me about lore. Sometimes I've had multiple. I think I've had JR Cowles came up to me and asked me about questions about the Arrow when it was coming out. Like read this, tell me if it works. Does this make sense? So
Breezy, it's production capacity. If we just continue making the kits, we don't have enough printers to make new kits, and we do want to make new kits. Because there's a lot of ships that are in the game that people have been asking for, but we just haven't made them because we haven't gotten around to them. And they are just 2 people in an office and a workshop.
They're fans. They started off doing fan stuff, and they end up getting a lot more work and stuff like that. So, all right. Celine asks, was there any lore indication of Crusader having a ship like the Spirit, or do you think it's new? there has been multiple lore indications that Crusader makes multiple ships. This is not the least of the ships they make. They make everything from smaller to larger ships, and I think the most recent update that I saw, lore that involved them, specifically mentioned they make a wide variety of ships, including small and from small to large. So there's been some indications that there are multiple ships. Then also indicate that this is not the last Crusader ship we will see. We will probably see at least a capital class ship from them of some kind in terms of hauling a cargo and such, and possibly even a single-seater small ship of some kind at some point. Just because the language they used is big enough to throw a wide net for all of the different sizes they need to. So, all right. And the last question we have is from Velocity Raptor, who asks, I have one more after this. Since you said CIG doesn't like memes, and now they've done this to you, do you think they can learn to like memes again? I don't think that CIG employees don't like memes. I think CIG management doesn't understand memes, and they are afraid of them. And they learned the wrong lessons from them, which is to embrace the meme, because the faster you embrace the meme, especially if you don't like it, the faster it will die. Because hello fellow kidsing any meme will cause it to go into the dirt. But as Darsh can point out, because of his experience, you can make a meme, and then the versions of that meme will get more upvotes and more attention than the original template that you did in the first place, because people will see it. So, all right. Was JRDF involved in crafting the Phoenix for the Manchester set? I do not believe so. You're muted.
I wish I could say more.
Okay.
But no is what I'm allowed to say.
Yeah. And the last question is from Kevion. Working on designing my fleet and wondering if you three will be a reputation benefit. If you think there will be a reputation benefit for manufacturers for using certain manufacturer ships, wondering if there's a benefit to sticking to one manufacturer. Kale, do you think there's going to be some sort of benefit for being a loyal customer for Aegis or Anvil?
Maybe in the future, like post launch, or maybe as they develop the reputation system. I think more there will be a allowance based on what type of ship you're bringing to the type of landing zone. So if you show up at Microtech in a Drake, you might pay 1 or 2% higher docking fees than if you showed up in an Origin or something similar, or Crusader.
Yeah, that is also what I've been thinking. Especially similarly to how NPCs are gonna tackle you or handle you depending on how you're dressed, whether you're gallivanting in just a spacesuit or whether you're in tattered clothes or dressed well, depending on the location you're in. Yeah, rolling up to Spider in a pristine 890 jump, or rolling up to the CBD in a Kraken, yeah. So you may not even be allowed there. They may even, in the worst case scenario, they might just even open fire immediately on you and take your ship because you're a tasty morsel. Versus one of them,
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
we're doing that recently.
Go again, Paul.
I will say, I do not think we're going to see a single person aspect. I don't think we're going to see, you may maybe get a reputation boost from Crusader because you're a really famous pilot who flies a Crusader ship, but I don't think that's going to be that granular. I think you're more likely just going to see, if you do stuff for Crusader, it doesn't really matter what ship you're flying. But
what if you're a pirate known to be, a very known pirate, very good pirate, like as in skilled pirate, not not a good alignment, but you only fly Crusader ships, and you're giving them a bad name because of it, because Drake doesn't care, but Crusader might.
Yeah.
I could see it. You maybe, like Paul, you were saying, if you're doing a lot of things and you're very well known and you fly specifically Crusader ships, you might get a small discount on Crusader parts, or like your insurance timer might run a little faster for Crusader ships, but like, or you might get a better parking spot when you're on Crusader. But I like you said, the granularity that would have to be there would be pretty spectacular.
They would have to make a separate reputation system that's just the fame or infamy system for that sort of thing to happen, which could happen. Like they could easily just take the reputation system and break it down even further to say the general fame and general infamy.
Well, they do have affinity. That you have the skill that you're progressing through, and then you also have the affinity part for every organization you're dealing with. So they could maybe just apply that affinity to the manufacturer of the equipment that you're using, that you are known to use, I guess. But this feels like something down the line. Yeah,
that definitely feels like, like a general, like something that'll affect your affinity depending on what you do. They can have that the thing. They've even talked about adding reputation to chairs in the verse. Like they have that ability to take any object in the game that exists that you can interact with can have have a reputation system attached to it. Like they were joking about that when they built that.
Yeah. One thing I did just think of is if you run missions for Crusader and you fly a Crusader ship, you might get a bonus to the reputation that you get from completing a Crusader mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tree. All lamps have maximum affinity. Like everybody loves lamp.
Everyone loves lamp. All right, y'all. That's the end of this this Q&A. That's the last question. Thank you to Kale, and thank you for Darj for coming on and joining us for this section of the 24-hour live stream. Darj can now go to bed.
Yep, it's 5 a.m.
And that's why I'm going to go to bedroom too, about 6 or 7 a.m. my time. So thank you for coming on and doing double dipping, Darj. Thank you for coming on, Kale. You're always welcome to come on to another Captain's Table in the future. Just let me know, and I'll send you the information and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for watching. We have already raised a total of $2,143. So we gained a little bit more. We had another, I think, $20. Another like $40 since we started. So chugging right along. If you want to at home, if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you check the link down below if you want to donate. This whole event that I'm part of, the Spooktacular Streamathon, is going on throughout the entire month of October. So you can always help out a good cause with Gamers Outreach. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.